From the moment a child is born, they begin absorbing their environment. They notice how their parents speak to one another, how conflicts are handled, how love is expressed, and how disappointment is managed. These small daily interactions become the emotional language a child learns. If they inherit a vocabulary filled with warmth, understanding, and respect, they grow into adults who naturally extend the same qualities to themselves and others. But if what they inherit is silence, criticism, or indifference, they may struggle with insecurity, fear of rejection, or difficulty forming stable relationships. This is why emotional wealth is so much more powerful than material wealth. It becomes part of the child's inner architecture. Let's think about it this way. If a parent leaves behind a large sum of money but neglects to leave behind a sense of security, love, and guidance, that money can be squandered or misused. Without the emotional tools to handle success, failure, or loss, even material comfort cannot guarantee happiness. On the other hand, a child who inherits strong emotional grounding, values like resilience, compassion, and inner strength, can often build material wealth on their own. They know how to bounce back after setbacks, how to stay steady in moments of chaos, and how to find meaning even when life doesn't go as planned. But what exactly does emotional wealth look like in real terms? It looks like parents who listen instead of dismissing. It looks like encouraging curiosity rather than punishing mistakes. It looks like modeling kindness, not just preaching it. It looks like being consistent with love, so that children grow up knowing that their worth is not conditional on achievement or perfection. It looks like showing them that vulnerability is not weakness, but a part of being human. Every time you respond to a child's fear with comfort instead of ridicule, every time you offer patience when they are learning, every time you acknowledge their emotions as valid, you are depositing into their emotional bank account. And this wealth will compound over the years, giving them a secure foundation to stand on. Many adults carry the opposite kind of inheritance, emotional debt. Emotional debt is passed down through neglect, harsh criticism, emotional unavailability, or unresolved trauma. When a parent has not healed their own wounds, they may unconsciously pass them down. A father who never felt good enough may constantly push his child to overachieve, unknowingly instilling the same feelings of inadequacy. A mother who was never heard as a child may have difficulty truly listening to her own children. This is not because parents do not love their children, but because they pass on the only tools they know. And unless we break this cycle, emotional debt continues to flow from one generation to the next. But here lies the beauty of emotional wealth. It can be built at any time. It is never too late to start investing in it. If you grew up with emotional debt, you can still choose to give your children something different. You can start by practicing awareness, noticing the moments when you are reacting from your past rather than the present. You can start by listening more than speaking, by apologizing when you make mistakes, and by showing children that even adults are still learning and growing. Emotional wealth doesn't require perfection, it only requires presence. Another important aspect of emotional wealth is the way we model relationships. Children are not only absorbing how we treat them, they are also watching how we treat others. Partners, friends, strangers. If they grow up seeing respect, kindness, and healthy boundaries in action, they will carry those patterns into their own relationships. If they grow up witnessing constant conflict, disrespect, or avoidance, they may normalize those behaviors in adulthood. In that sense, we are constantly teaching them what love should feel like. Think about the stories we leave behind. Every family carries narratives, some empowering, some limiting. When we tell children stories of resilience, of ancestors who overcame difficulties with courage and dignity, we give them a sense of belonging and strength. When we only leave them with stories of failure, shame, or bitterness, we unintentionally pass down a lens of scarcity and fear. Emotional wealth includes the stories, traditions, and values we highlight, the ones that remind children that they are part of something bigger, that they have roots that ground them, and wings that allow them to fly. What we must also understand is that emotional wealth isn't only about happy moments. It is also about how we handle pain. A child who sees grief being processed openly learns that sadness is not to be hidden, but expressed. A child who witnesses forgiveness learns that mistakes are not the end of love. A child who is guided through failure learns that setbacks are not an identity, but a stepping stone. In many ways, the difficult moments are the ones that carry the most potential for emotional inheritance. They teach children that being human is not about perfection, but about resilience. So ask yourself, what are you leaving behind? Not in your will, but in your words, your actions, your everyday presence. What are your children internalizing each time you react, each time you show up, or each time you retreat? These are the moments when emotional wealth is being transferred. It doesn't require money, status, or luxury. It only requires the willingness to show up with love, empathy, and a bit of humility. The truth is, no parent will ever get it all right. There will always be mistakes, moments of impatience, or words we wish we could take back. But emotional wealth is not about perfection. It is about direction. If your overall direction is one of compassion, growth, and openness, your children will inherit far more than any bank account could ever provide. They will inherit the ability to navigate life with courage and kindness, and that is a gift beyond measure. And remember, even if you are not a parent, you still have the power to contribute to the emotional wealth of children around you, siblings, nieces, nephews, students, or even the community. Every interaction is a chance to deposit something valuable into someone's emotional bank account. You may not see the impact immediately, but seeds of kindness and encouragement have a way of growing into forests of resilience. As you reflect on this, think of the kind of legacy you want to leave behind. Long after material possessions fade, it is the emotional inheritance that lives on in the way our children love, in the way they handle life, and in the way they pass on those same patterns to the next generation. That is the true wealth of a family, and it is worth investing in every single day. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Together, we can create a community of people who are committed to leaving behind not just material assets, but emotional treasures.